We're here today at the Fort Nelson Fire Station with Chief Gord McCleary, and as you can see behind us, we have our brand new heavy rescue vehicle. And Chief Gord has been kind enough to offer to give us a tour and show the entire community what this truck's capabilities are really all about.
So as you can see, it's a very large vehicle. It's got a 7-man or 10-man cab. We can actually carry 7 people to an incident. Currently, we actually send out 2 or 3 vehicles to incidents. Now we'll be able to send everybody on one. If you come around to the driver's side, this is the heart of the truck. Everything takes place in here. We have a computer-operated module up there that operates everything on this truck. All electronics, what they call multiplexed wiring. So we don't need all the generators and all that extra power. It's all put into this little computer in here. Backup camera, everything goes through this, the driver, this is the heart and the center of it all. If you swing around, we'll sign on here, let you know where this came from, right? It's custom built just for the Northern Rockies. Well, this truck was designed and built specifically for our community and for our terrain and our roads, okay? In the back, you'll see that we can carry up to 5 people for a rescue. We have a fridge, a microwave, and a coffee maker. Some of our rescues can take 10 hours. By the time we get out to the rescue area, we go all the way up to the Yukon border, all the way up to the Northwest Territories, all the way to the Alberta border. So by the time you get there and you get everything, you still need to be able to have nourishment for your crews that you send. So we can send people, 6 to 7 people on this rescue to go out of town. As we get to this smaller cabinet here on part of the cab, one of the designs they built in, because of the custom built cab, they were able to put an extra little compartment in here to be able to carry our first responder gear for first aid. So we have a stand in here for oxygen. So as we step to this compartment here, this is our rescue department, basically for rope rescue and anything to do with that. We have a basket stretcher, we have spine boards, we have a tray that's got all our rescue equipment on it. And you'll see that just slightly by doing this, we can pull this out and we have access to all the gear. And you'll also notice when we get to the other side, we can actually pull the gear to the other side.
Oh,
right? So we have that equipment in place. We'll have some other first responder gear in here, but we have our control device for our generator. We have a generator on board. We can control that light bar that you saw on top. This is the controller. Our operator can pick this up. They can move away from the truck. They can figure out where we need the best lighting, and we'll be able to light up any scene in the dark. And as we know, it gets pretty dark here, and it can last for a while during the winter months. So
now, in this compartment, you would have a defibrillator, and
that'll probably be in this compartment here. With
so your people are all trained for
all
that
trained
kind of a rescue.
Yep. And we actually, our department right now has 4 defibrillators. So all our first line trucks have a defibrillator on them for any kind of rescues that we have to do. So as we move along, we come across this little device here. It's kind of a fancy little piece of equipment. This is a Trimax calves system. In this system here, basically, in order for us to do some of the rescue and not send out one of our big pumper trucks out of town, this is designed to be able to do any car fires if we happen to come across a car fire at a motor vehicle incident up the highway, either direction. So this unit here is full of some chemical foam and water, air, and a hose. So we basically, it's only 60 gallons of water, but this system here, with 60 gallons of water, will be able to accumulate about 2,200 liters of foam and water to be able to put out any kind of a small type of vehicle fire.
And how far away would your vehicle be from the vehicle?
This is 150 feet of hose. 150 feet of hose is what we have right here. Right? Continuing along, we have a tool board here. So we can have, once we get everything loaded, we can have axes and shovels and equipment mounted on either side of this board here. So we get our equipment on there. Again,
Gord, I noticed we have a canopy above us. What's that all about?
Absolutely, so some of the times you go out to some of the things, a day like today, especially in a hot summer day, we can have this canopy out to keep our guys cool. And other days, inclement weather, we'd be able to protect our equipment. This whole canopy is electronic, and it's also on a sensor, so what happens if we actually get a bad wind, this thing will automatically wind us back in. We don't have to think about it. It just comes out, goes back in based on what we got going on.
Super.
So as we kind of move along, we just have an next little spot here. This spot here that we have here is basically designed for our lift bags, different types of heavy lift bags. So we can put our lift bags in. These are all air type tools to be able to lift the vehicle up. So they're going to be inside this compartment. Another tool tray, this one here comes out and slopes down. And we'll be able to mount different tools and different types of equipment in here, maybe some saws and things like that. We're still laying out how our equipment's going to work. We have our old rescue truck. All that equipment will go into this truck, plus a little bit of extra. Okay, so all designed specifically for the needs of what our community has faced over the years, and all designed for that. Back here, we have our Hamacho tools, or commonly known the jaws of life. So these are our rescue tools back here. We have a built-in power unit so that we can actually plumb in. I'll show you the connection on the other side. We can actually plumb into the truck and we can work right off the truck, or we can take a unit and go out to where we need to be. Anytime we have, touch wood, we don't like to have them, but if the fire happens, a structure fire, this unit can be there for all the other things that we need, including it brings it to our own air supply. So as our guys use SCBAs on the scene, normally what we have to do is load them up on a truck, come back to the hall, fill them, bring them back to the scene. Some of our scenes, especially with the municipality being a little bigger, get a little further out. This system here is designed so we can actually fill cylinders. We've got a cascade system in the back. We have 4 cylinders. We can actually fill our cylinders on scene now. And then once, then eventually we'll bring this back and we fill up the whole truck at one time.
Now, while we're talking about distances, like what kind of an area does the Fort Nelson Fire Department cover? How big a
From the fire protection side, we go as far south as Spectra Energy and as far north as Grouse 312 to the north. So first responder, and then this truck here through the Provincial Emergency Program, what they call PEP. Okay. We can get assigned a task number, and from there, this truck here can go all the way to the borders, right, and all the way down to Sickany Bridge.
Wow.
So
that is a big geographical area.
For the rescue side of it, and that's one of the reasons that this truck was so important to this community.
Sure.
Whether it be guests or residents or our own people on that road, we have the equipment to go out there and do some good. Fantastic. All right.
Well, this is Doug Roper signing off for Fort Nelson Community Updates with our new heavy rescue vehicle and some very competent firefighters. I think the community can rest assured they're in great hands.